I have 120 copies of Kill 'Em All.
Jesus Christ, dude.
With Metallica, I want every single pressing of every single format from every single country in the world, promo, test pressing, acetate. It's a checklist, and I won't be done until I have it all.
Hey, Patrick here. Welcome back to another episode of Record Rooms. This is a series where I interview record collectors in their record rooms. This is part 2 of my interview with Doug Brown, director of the 2018 grindcore documentary Slave to the Grind. Among many other things, Doug runs Death by Digital Productions. He's a high school teacher. Doug has such an insane Metallica collection that I decided to break it off into its own standalone episode. You don't have to watch part 1 to get this, but if you like this, I suggest you check it out. There's lots more stuff over there, including even a little bit more Metallica. Doug just has such a massive record collection with everything from jazz to grindcore, classic rock, heavy metal, and all of that is in part 1. But this is just for Metallica. If you like the show, please don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. All of these are cheap and easy ways that you can help me grow. And if you'd like to do more than that, I have a Patreon set up, starts at $2 a month. I give away a good record every month to one of my subscribers. Stooges, Ramones, Refused, Shape of Punk to Come. All of these are first or early pressings, and at the end of every month, I draw a name out of a hat of my Patreon subscribers, and I mail it to them at my cost. Could be you. I also do ad-free versions of Record Rooms and all my other various musical deep dives on there as well. Okay, so as this is the first episode of Record Rooms dedicated solely to one band, may I present, for the first time ever, the Metallica edition of Record Rooms.
I'm just kind of focusing on records today, but I also have like 1,000 Metallica CDs and like hundreds of cassettes, and like I could go into the rarity of all that stuff, but there's just so much. I always like to tell people that I have the largest collection of Metallica memorabilia in Canada, mainly because it's tough to argue with. I've been confidently saying this for years, and definitely one of the largest in the world. To collect at this level, you need to be part of like a community. So shout out to all my Metallica collecting friends who I've been doing this with for decades. Digital pen pals in the most nerdy of ways, but we also meet up at concerts all over. Recently, like my friend Sam came all the way from Europe. We saw the 2 Toronto shows together, our first time meeting, but we've been trading for 2 decades.
How many times have you seen Metallica?
I've not seen them that many times compared to others, but I've seen them 20 times.
Okay, no, that's plenty of times.
Yeah, but you know, like I was with a guy there and it was like his 170th time seeing Metallica.
Sure.
You know? But I'm going to show some like classic Metallica collectibles, you know? There are more rare things in my collection, but these are the ones that like, oh, do you have this? That people would have probably heard of. The Fade to Black glow-in-the-dark 12-inch promo. Fade to Black was only ever released as a promo. I also have the black version of this. There's also a more rare version of this, which I'm also after if anybody wants to sell it to me. It's called the title sticker. It just says Fade to Black Metallica. So this is nicknamed the Friday Morning Quarterback, just based on what the hype sticker says, and it does glow in the dark after, you know, illuminating it to them playing it. I'll show you one sealed thing I got here. I'm sure a lot of people know the Metal Massacre. This is a first pressing where it, you know, the word Metallica is misspelt with 2 T's on it. In the second pressing, it was resolved. Obviously, it has Ron McGovney on bass, Dave Mustaine on guitar, with a second guitar player, Lloyd Grant. This is, I think, the only thing that he ever played on, minus like maybe a little live thing that had been released. Jen Seffield is only on vocals. So this is like the first thing that Metallica was ever recorded for and pressed. I have every pressing of this, you know, different labels as well as from different countries. But this one is sealed, and it's a DJ promo that's sealed. This is kind of like the echelon of like, okay, I might as well keep something like this sealed. Or I have every Metallica record pressed in Japan. Like I have them all. But what I don't have is every promo Metallica record from Japan. So that's like, that's the things that I'm like after right now. Like I just got a Master of Puppets Japanese first pressing promo. I drove 6 hours one way in the summer to a guy who was selling it on Facebook Marketplace.
You got all your Google alerts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have these, my wife's like, Metallica test pressing on eBay. Yeah. You know, like I have all those things set. And
this guy, I got to go to Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah. And this guy wasn't going to ship it. And I was like, okay, looks like it's a road trip. You know, and it was like a day. And where else was I going to find that?
Sure.
If I'm 42 and I've been hunting for this record for, let's say, 25 years at this point, and it's my first time ever even seeing it, and it happens to be in Ontario, I'm making the drive.
Who knows when the next copy's going to be, right?
That's just it. And I actually know who owns all the other copies. I'm just waiting for them to die. We have the famous misprint of Ride the Lightning on a French label. The band never wanted this to be released as green. It just kind of came out. The label said it was a mistake. Now, the reason I'm saying it's not a mistake is there are two label variations of this, like on the sleeve and inner sleeve. I do have both of them, and they're both very rare. And it's also since been bootlegged in a variety of colors. I have a bunch of those as well. But to get the original, I love it with this hype sticker. It's specifically for a shop. They distributed it like quite heavily in France at the time. I've heard people say there's only 200 of these. People say there's only 400 of these. I say there's at least 2,000-3,000, if not more. I've had 5 or 6 in my hands over the years that I've bought and sold and traded. And for one guy to have that many and there's only 400, I think that is definitely not true. Getting into some of the more rare pieces here, I love picture discs. And there are test pressings of picture discs, which are just like the white. And then this is the sound before they embed the layer. So the white is the picture on this before they like maybe we're done with the details of the layout and whatnot. So this is the Kill 'Em All first pressing picture disc.
I've never seen a test press picture disc before.
Yeah,
of anything.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I also have one for the 10-inch for one, which is a picture disc as well. But just in terms of like rarity and old-timiness, I thought I would bring out the Kill 'Em All one.
Quick interruption here. If you're looking for sleeves, consider Vinyl Storage Solutions. They make inners, outers, 7-inch, 10-inch LP, gatefold, pockets, double pockets, flaps. They make it all. It's a Canadian company, so the exchange rate is really good for Americans. And there's free shipping once you hit the minimum order. You can get 10% off your order with the coupon code PACKRAT. Okay, back to the interview.
So here's a fun little shelf that I've had a lot of fun putting together more recently. It's a combination of things that aren't records. A lot of box sets, a lot of CDs, knickknacks, and ephemera from over the years. Along the back here, these are like CD long boxes of bootlegs of different shows. This was like a huge in the selling market in the 90s. There's a bunch over here as well. Opens up in a variety of different clam shells in a variety of different ways. Some of my more rare CDs are up here, you know, like the Better Than You promo is supposed to be a single, but then they only did it as a promo. We got Stone Cold Crazy here. 3 different versions of one Japanese. This one came with a promotional wristband. Silly little things like that. Here's from when Metallica took over a store and released a cassette just for that one day called the Metallica Store. 2 of 1 Japanese VHS and, the Bleeding Me CD promo and the Whiplash sampler right here. This is actually a pretty classic collectible. In the Japanese market, they would release these 3-inch CDs, these like small long boxes, which would be a snap pack, and they were meant to be snapped and then put together. So this is for 3 different songs, but unsnapped. So it takes a while to get those that are complete in that area. As a total nerd, I have like light switch things and guitar picks, and when they played Poker Ship when they played at a casino, and then they had like these were like usable in the actual casino.
I thought only misfits were capable of this kind of merchandising.
Oh no, Metallica are pathetic. These are fan cans along here. I have a few more that didn't fit on this shelf, but most of these are released by the band. This one here is a bootleg, but in it would have like a VHS and a CD or a t-shirt and door hangers and a rain poncho, all sorts of stupid things. And they were just like for different eras of things. A lot of people know like the Live Shit Binge and Purge. So I have 5 copies of this in its official form, and then another 6 or 7 in reissues, Japanese issues, now that it's been done on DVD. Different promos. This is the 15 pieces of Live Shit promo, which is kind of a famous piece. 2 other versions of it. One of them is a bootleg and another one's just in a CD shelf. Getting really low here. Most of this whole wall here in the back, this is all Metallica CD bootlegs. Got about 500 or 600 here, as well as more over here, as well as all the long boxes for when Metallica released those on long boxes. Some shoes, another stack of like what's called the mandatory Metallica promos. I have every single one of those. Minus 1 misprint that plays not Metallica. Still after that.
It's nice that there's still some stuff on the want list.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's more on my want list than not. In this corner here, it's kind of hard to see. These are all Metallica box sets down here. More Metallica CDs down that side there. Kind of goes down to the floor. Oh, I should point out, like even in here, this is a lunchbox. That opens up and there's like couple hundred backstage passes in there for Metallica. And like, if I were just to grab this stack here, here's Metallica postcards that I've collected over the years. Those cases over here, these are all Metallica press kits and like a variety of like different pieces of things. If I were to open up this green ottoman here, there are like 200 Metallica magazines with them on the front cover of it, you know, stuff like that. This whole shelf here is Metallica records. When I look at this, it doesn't seem like a lot. But it's mainly because I know what I need, but it's just like, you know, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, then the Garage Days EP, and then Injustice for All, and the Blackout, you know, all the studio albums to here. It looks like I have so many more 72 seasons, and well, I do have a lot. It was a double album, such thick spines, so it takes up, unfortunately, a lot of space, including the divider that was at Walmart for it that a friend of mine stole from me. And I have the 72 season bobbleheads in the mail right now. And my good friends at Sonic Boom gave me the caution tape that they got to put around the store, which they refused to do. They're like, oh, we'll just keep that for Doug. And then, you know, all the singles, like this is like 15 versions of Creeping Death, all like the 12-inch promos. Once we get down to here, this is where we have Metallica laserdiscs, which, you know, we got Cunning Stunts, we got Cliff 'Em All with the Japanese Obi sticker, the American version of it, Cliff 'Em All, you know, with the purple Obi, the Year and a Half in the Life of Metallica box set, which was like a famous one, but then again on laserdisc. I just assume that not many people are pulling out laserdiscs from Japan, so might as well go there. This is a 9-inch laserdisc from Japan, so 2 different versions of the One music video. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of that song, so that is there.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah?
Do you have a favorite band?
I think it's Metallica. Bootlegs, alphabetical order, you know, starting with there, and all vinyl bootlegs, all the way to here, vinyl bootleg box sets to there, and then official box set starts, and a little bit of room for more over there.
This is incredible.
Now, hey, you want to get really nerdy here? This blows some people's minds. So behind all of these is an entire wall of Metallica cassettes. So when I pull this out here, they are perfectly tucked in here, you know, oh, there's all the loads and reloads right there. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you can peek in between here, it just continues along.
Wow.
And then VHS and DVDs and Blu-ray line that wall.
Wow.
So it's just like a sneaky way for me to hide even more things along in there.
Incredible.
And then more Metallica over here, an entire wall of, you know, Metallica CDs all the way down to the bottom there. There's a flight case on the way at the bottom there of just test pressings.
Oh, casually.
Here's the Jump in the Fire picture disc,
That
right?
is so sick.
And it's super cool. I have a couple versions of this with and without barcode. There's nothing uncool about that. But what's even cooler is they made uncut test pressing versions of that. Before they cut it, they pressed it like this, and that was the test version of it, right? It's in kind of funky shape. You can see all the bubbling here, but there's no, I can touch the surface
It's meant
here.
to be cut off.
Yeah, it's meant to be cut off, right? And then it would soon be cut. But that is the kind of like what is known as a test pressing of that. Now, this is the uncut with a barcode. There's also, which I do not have, an uncut without barcode, which is one of the most rare things. This is up there.
How many copies of that do you think exist?
I don't know. That's a really good question. 50? Versus like probably only 15 of that Kill 'Em All one I just showed there, right? This is getting like, we're getting more rare as we go down here. Here is a 10-inch acetate of Creeping Death for the picture disc, and it's a one-sided reference. It's an acetate, so it's metal and it's plated. It has Metallica etched into it. I'm not sure if you can see it. Acetates were always done with these 2 holes here. I'll put my fingers there so you can see it. It's just the way the machine gripped it, and they are meant to be disposable. These things degrade upon playing. So I played it once when I first got it, and this one is like in the hen's teeth of rarities. The last one I'm going to show is like a personal favorite, and you know, yes, exceptionally rare, but this is my favorite album of all time. So I have a Master of Puppets test pressing, Elektra Records, handwritten labels, probably by Fleming. This would have been only for band members, a couple for record execs, and this is one of the rarest records in my collection, and certainly creme de la creme in terms of Metallica collecting. In terms of test pressings, like I also have Anthrax Among the Living test pressing, and like I'm trying to get all my like favorite albums. So Far So Good, So What by Megadeth. I have that on test pressing. But in terms of like my all-time favorite album, to be able to say I now have like every first pressing of Master Puppets around the world, every promo first pressing, test pressing, now the Japanese promo of it. I'm very happy with my Master Puppets collection. Yeah.
How did that one come to you?
So that was purchased from a fellow collector who I've been in contact with. He was downsizing during COVID. High-end collectibles, when they go on to the market, they don't usually sell on Discogs.
Right.
They go direct to people. Similarly, like if I was to ever sell something like that, there would be people who'd get first dibs, you know, and we all know each other. This is going to sound strange. I think that things are too overpriced. I want the collecting to get cheaper. I don't care about the value of my collection. It should be accessible to all. I've cataloged my collection on Discogs, but the most rare things in my collection have never been sold on Discogs, so they have no value.
That also leads to sometimes the Discogs information might be undervalued.
Yeah, there are some things on there I was like, yes, this test pressing is worth $300, and I was like, that's a $4,000 record. And I know who just spent $4,000 on it. And the next time that'll sell, it'll sell for $8,000 when that person dies. Yeah. And he's the only guy who has it, and nobody will know about it.
Hey, welcome back. So, what do you think? What's Doug missing? Have you got something he doesn't have? Like I mentioned before, there's a part 1 where we go into all the other parts of Doug's record collection. And if you've already watched that, and you've finished part 2, and you're still watching in the outro, well, maybe it's time to consider signing up for my Patreon. And even if you don't want to, I'll see you next time.